my permesso. This is my Syrian ID card. This is my birth certificate. This is my refugee application. All the documents that I have to hold every time I'm walking in the street, out in a foreign country or even in my own country. Yes, this is all what defines me. Without this, I am nothing. I'm just a stack of papers. I'm just a stack of papers with signatures and expiry dates. Sometimes I even feel like I'm the cheapest thing on the planet without these documents. Cheaper than the cheapest thing. Maybe an Arabic phrase we have that describes a diminution of the value of something, we say it is as cheap as potatoes. So honestly, I feel like a potato. Potatofication. A new word I'm planning to introduce to the Urban Dictionary, and I need your support with that. It means to be treated like something without a value, as potato is one of the cheapest vegetables, or to be a person simply from the third world. Potatofication, inside and outside Syria, even my own country. Hey, you, your ID card, and you try to look up at their face, and then a rifle pointed at you that is longer than you are, put your eyes at the floor and give me your documents. You're not allowed to complain. There's no space for risky discussions when one has a gun and the other doesn't. Sometimes I dare enough, actually. I dare enough to take a glimpse at their faces. I recognize some familiar faces, some former classmates, some teachers, some neighbors. But unfortunately, they're not themselves anymore. They wear a different face of war. Why can't they live the same life they used to anymore? Why did my friend Ahmed leave her playgrounds and school desks, held a gun, and wore a mad face? Why does war change who humans are? My friends, the change is universal. Politicians and soldiers are losing the human value and losing their compassion because they had the intention to kill another human being. The victims become martyrs and names on the TV. A couple of days later, they become just a number. And humans like you guys are watching through your little screens and witnessing. Your empathy is unconsciously and gradually decreasing. Because you know why? Because death becomes a daily scene. Every day you see it on these newspapers, you see it on this TV, or like, yeah, a couple of people died today. It's normal. It happens. I acknowledge we're living in the speed world, and everything is changing. I know that our lifestyle is changing, technology is changing, and genes are mutating, climate is changing, traditions are shifting. So how about humanity? I'm wondering if it's following a similar trend. Today I'm asking the greatest question. I'm asking the greatest question. Who is a human being in today's world? Who is a human being? What is humanity? If I come to answer from my personal experience whether human value is decreasing, whether we're losing the human value, I would say yes. Morals are underestimated, and human interactions are losing their value. Life becomes more based on numbers and interests, and compassion and love become just an outdated trend. Is that the world we're living in? Is that what we aspire for? If my personal experience come to speak, it would acknowledge the decrease of human value. Is that the world we aspire for? Well, as long as wars are still going on, refugees are still met with preconceptions and prejudice, then yes, our answer is yes, this is the world we want to live in. Dear friends, in 2013, my house was targeted by a bomb. My family and I were forced out of it. My sister got arrested, and my father got kidnapped 3 times. Now he lost his job and his leg. Later on, my school was destroyed, My classmates and teachers either joined the army or passed away. And until this day, I am losing academic opportunities just because of my passport. And I was forced out of the country to become a refugee, to become a number, to become that stack of papers, to become these documents, to become that potato. Living as a refugee was difficult to be described. It was so difficult when the hosting country did not understand who I am, did not know my story. They had no idea why I fled my home, and they had no idea what it meant to lose a family member or to be injured. They had no idea what it meant to lose a close friend or live without education. They just know that I'm a refugee. They just know that I'm a risk to their country. I acknowledge that statistics say that refugees might risk the national and economical security of a country. Well, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you believe in these statistics? I'm going to repeat the question. So some statistics say that refugees form as a risk to the national and economical security of a country. How many of you believe in this? None? Okay. Then how many of you believe in statistics in general without that topic? How many of you use statistics in their EE to support internal assessments? I see you out there. Yes, I mean it's fine. There's nothing to be ashamed of because statistics are favorite evidence of us, or when you read essays of media, because it's the audience's favorite evidence. They provide actual numbers and supportive ideas and conclusions. So now, if you can show that 75% of people in this hall know how to speak Italian, you have an evidence that is strong enough to say that 75% of TEDx audiences can speak Italian. Congratulations, you attended TEDx. You have a 75% of speaking Italian. Wow. So this is how statistics work. Such evidence is not only hard to refute, it's often accepted as the final word in saying what is true and what is not true. And it's the same concept as saying all Muslims are terrorists. Syrian refugees are a risk. It's the exact same concept. If you want to live free in today's world, you should be careful with what you read. You should not believe whatever you read, please. Media is the most accessible source of information, but journalists are masters at grabbing your attention and crafting the ideas they want. They're professional at grabbing your attention to the ideas they want. So if you want to live free from framed ideas, you need to read carefully and consider all the different dimensions of the same issue. So this is how media might show you an event is, where in fact it might be like this, where in the Syrian case it might be like this. I didn't want to jump to conclusions about media, and also I'm kind of interested in journalism, so I carried out an extended essay research about the quality of media and about how the Canadian newspaper portrayed for Syrian female refugees. Unfortunately, shorthand media continues to be reduced to stereotyped cliches that might lack depth and exaggerate certain phenomena. Too often, Syrian female refugees were depicted as a group that forms a serious danger to the hosting country. If not, they were viewed as a vulnerable or helpless person. My conclusion was that Canadian media was candidly consistent and highly pretending to galvanize the Canadian population into helping the Syrian female refugees. However, I found out that this content is framed. They haven't seen who they are actually. They haven't showed who they are actually. It's only focused on some facts and events and ignored many other aspects. I'm not coming to say that I have the truth about the Syrians, because there's no such a thing. Because Syrian immigrants are above 5 millions, and getting to know the truth means looking at a similar cube to this, but it's like with 5 millions dimensions, so it should look like this. For this reason, no single media, or no single person can provide you with the truth about Syrian population. Neither can I. What I can try to do is to ask you to judge immigrants depending on one dimension, or one more dimension, which is their human dimension. I want you to remember that this person that you saw at the newspaper on the borders, like just asking somebody for help, might be a student, who wanted to be at your place, right where you are now. Or might be a mom who wanted to watch the sunset peacefully. Or might be a grandfather who wanted to sit on the balcony and read newspaper and listen to peaceful music rather than listening to bombardments. They are humans with human desires and wishes. They're just like you, just like each of you. The definition of illegal immigration is as follows. Is the migration of people into a country in ways that violate the immigration laws of a country, or the remaining in a country who no longer have the right to remain. The human definition of this, of illegal immigration, is that people who decided to step on the blood and the rubble and decided that their life should not stop here. If you manage to look at immigrants in that way, you will live free of giving up your brain to believe in everything you see. You will live free of giving up your brain to believing that these people are not humans. These people are humans, yes, and not only humans. They're humans who learned great lessons. Because remember, and remember. War is horrific, but it's an incredible teacher with great lessons. Now, how can you learn these lessons? By learning from others, listening to other experiences, people who got that experience. You can just keep them talking and listening to them. One of the great lessons they learned as people from conflict zones was resistance. Resistance requires a lot of strength to take a new start. It's not as easy to forget all the past. It's not as easy to get up from the rubble. It's not as easy to forget about the dead body in front of you, of your best friend maybe. It's not easy to forget it. And then when you stayed alive and you tried to put it in a past corner in your brain, means you resisted. And that resistance is something that we all need in every day. Another great lesson I learned, which I would like to share with you now, is gratitude. The biggest lesson in life. You remember that bad day you had? You should still be grateful. There's still something to be grateful for. I remember in an interview with one of the Syrian women, she was our neighbor and she was quite old. And I was talking to her, like it's kind of an interview. I like to call them interviews, just conversations. And I was complaining about life. I was like, this bread is not good. Life in war is terrible. I don't like it. And she was like, you little kid, be grateful. You're alive, you're breathing. And then there was a cup of water on the table. She was like, this cup of water, you're drinking it, some others are not. Be grateful. I was like, sure. I learned. And then, you know, in that inspiring voice, she tells me a saying by the Prophet Muhammad that says, take advantage of 5 before you're deprived. Your youth before you're too old. Your health before you're too ill. Your riches before you're too poor. Your time before you're too busy. Your survival before you're dead. And until this day, I still remember that. And every time I want to say, oh, I just had a bad day, I count to 2. I'm like, oh, wait, I think twice. I shouldn't say I had a bad day because there's something I should still be grateful for. If you think in that way, you look at things positively, and you will be satisfied about your failures and even successes. The toughness and the pain of war teaches great lessons. Please forget not to aspire to learn them. Now, how can you learn about them? Articles and these series that are scattered out there. I'm sure that some of you met them because they traveled all around the world, and some of them, you might have met some of them and then talk to them. Actually, when they feel that you want to learn something from them, when they feel that you want to talk to them and make an actual bond, it will be a great conversation. You will learn and they will be happy that somebody is actually interested in their experience. Please don't look at them as a pity case. Look at them as a human who had an incredible experience. So, another way you can do it is by reading books. During the war, I used to write short diaries under the darkness and the candlelights, but I still liked writing diaries. I could not articulate my feelings sometimes, so I decided to ask those who are older than wiser, just like that grandma, and write down and look at description of what they say. And after 9 years of war, I have a diary notebook with all of these interviews partial funding for collecting these stories in a book. Now, I want you, one last thing, but not least, about how to look at these people as humans, is by relating to them. How can you relate to them? As I said, stepping on the rubble in the blood and coughing out the smoke is a heroic strength. It is a strength of letting go of the painful past and opening up your hands to life. It's the same strength as the one you needed to carry you through today. That one you needed when you were traveling on your airplane and you had this long travel, or when you needed to move a new boat. Or maybe the same strength you needed when you had to change your subjects and resist IB. Or maybe the same strength you needed to get up every day. It's the same strength with the same resistance. It's the same strength that you needed to choose your university, or your job, your friends, or go through a breakup. Now, I want you all to close your eyes, even organizers. Just close your eyes. And awaken corners of your memory that held such moments. These hard moments of confusion and sadness, turning points in your life. Please visualize yourself at the peak of helplessness, at the peak of confusion, at the peak of loneliness, out there. Can you see yourself? Remember when your strength was still out there. I want you to take a deep breath. And think about your feelings, your behaviors, your reactions, your secret tears, the way you followed to overcome that peak of sadness. As you awaken the past, please keep your eyes closed. I want you to visualize yourself today, sitting on that red chair, listening to a speech in one of the most prestigious schools, opening your brain to unspoken ideas. Think about all the things, all these emotions that pushed you through to come to this day, to be here, to be who you are at the moment. Think of all the people, think of all the strength, all that human pride, satisfaction, contentment, love, all these emotions that shaped the you right now. Can you see it? Open your eyes. Congratulations. You're a strong human. Congratulations, you're alive. You're important. You're a human. You're as human as I am, as that refugee is. We're all humans. Congratulations. Disregarding the human value is a risk of losing the value of living and loving. If you start from searching for the truth, learning from human experiences, and relating to them, trust me, you will never disregard the human aspect